Hello everyone and welcome to another Anyone Can Code video. Today we'll be looking at how to make a clickbait app and how to parse JSON files. So parsing JSON files is really important if you're using like a website or a server to get data. And I even use it in some of my apps. So this is what the app's going to look like. So this is the app that we're going to make, and it's a clickbait generator. And for those of you who don't know what clickbait is, it's a technique in, writing titles to make people click on it. And we're going to load all this clickbait data from an external JSON file. So let's press this clickbait button and see what clickbait we can make. So, the ultimate guides to get $1 million, which can make you rule the world. This is all real. I watched some facts about ducks that will save your life. Watch till the end. So, that's some clickbait, and let's make this app. So, let's get started. The ending will shock you. Okay, so I have this list here, and we're gonna grab the data from, online, from my website. And as you can see, there's different parts of it. So if you get something from part 1, something from part 2, something from part 3, mix them together, you get this clickbait title. And there's some, you can see that there's some placeholders here. We're going to replace them with numbers. Let's say it's like a top 10 list or something. So yeah, just, want to mix it up, have some random numbers in there. And, okay, so why are we going to get this from an online database or, list? Well, first of all, what if we're going to change the list, like add something, remove something, change something? It'll be easier to change the online list than to, update the whole app. Another reason is because, there's also the file size that you have to think about. If there's a bunch of images or stuff that you get from this database, it might end up with your app having gigabytes and gigabytes of data, and users don't want to download that much, especially the slow Wi-Fi. And so it's just best that if you just get separately from online. Okay, so also we have to turn this list into, and we have to parse into Swift. And first of all, this is a JSON file. It's short for JavaScript Object Notation. It's commonly used for databases, and again, with the parsing, it's we need to make this readable for Swift. So as you can see, there's some arrays in here, a bit of dictionaries, but Swift doesn't know that yet. All it knows is a JSON file. And so currently in Swift 4, it's really easy to parse the data. You can do it in pretty much one line. You would also need to account for getting it from online, but the parsing part is only one line. Okay, so I think that's all we have to cover right now. So currently I have this here, so I'm going to, the template's iOS single view app, and I'm just gonna create the app. So let's call this Clickbait Generator. And I'm gonna click next. So the app's been created, and first of all, I'm gonna put in something in this info.p list. So I'm gonna press a plus and plus button. So you have to hover over one of these. Just press plus, and I'm gonna search for app transport security settings. Very good. So this is gonna allow us to get the data from this website. As you can see, it's just because there's like the security stuff, and licenses, all that stuff, but I don't have that. So doing this allows me to just go access any website instead of Xcode block or of the app. Instead of the app blocking it. And you don't really have to worry about that. Just go to App Transport Security Settings and then put in Allow Arbitrary Loads and set that to Yes. Alright, also, as you saw in the app, there's this newspaper thing, which is like it's a little background here. So, yeah, there we go. And then this space, the space here is for our title. Okay, so we have all that there, and we're going to start off with the layout. So as main.storyboard gets loaded, I'm going to, oh, there we go. I'm just going to put this in here. Or actually, the window's quite small. I'm gonna just gonna make this bigger. There we go. And alright, so we have all this, and I'm going to add, first of all, add the image that we just saw, the background. So I'm gonna drag in image view. There we go. And let's drag this across. And I'm gonna put in newspaper. There we go. I'm going to, for content mode, I'm gonna set this to aspect fill just so it fills it up. Actually, I'm gonna stretch this across just so you can see the top here. And I'm going to do some constraints. I'm going to constrain it to left, top, and right. I'm not really going to go over constraints. Just you can go to my older videos where I talk about how to do constraints and auto layout. But currently, I'm not gonna really go over it. And I'm just gonna do this and add 4 constraints. There we go. I'm not really gonna make it perfect just because it's not gonna be a full app. Alright, so let's have a label. And I'm gonna drag in this label here. This is going to be our text. And let's stretch it across. And I'm gonna set it so it's aligned, so the text is aligned to center. Do a bit of constraints now and height. And this label is gonna be aligned like this. And then I'm going to offset it and then update the constraints. I mean, if you're not familiar with auto layout, you don't really need to do auto layout, but it's just good to have it there. But as always, you can always go to my previous videos, and I'm gonna update my constraints, fix misplacement. There we go. Alright, so with the text, I'm gonna go over to this fence icon here. I'm going to set the, just gonna change this, I'm gonna say click the button below to generate clickbait. There we go. I'm gonna set the lines to 0. Okay, so also let's just set the font custom, and I'm gonna have Times New Roman. There we go. And I'm gonna make it bigger too, like let's say 30's or 25 is probably good. Yeah, 25 is good. Alright, and then I'm going to go add a button down here. I'm just gonna do some quick constraints, just drag it across, resize it, and height, and do this. And there we go, we're all good. And I'm gonna change the title of this button to say clickbait and exclamation mark. Now currently you can't really see it, so I'm gonna change the background. Currently it's transparent. I'm gonna set this to yellow, and text color maybe red. Yeah, red's pretty good. And then for this, yeah, I think that's alright. And then set this to 20, and there we go, we have our clickbait button. Okay, so we have everything pretty much, and now it's time to do the coding. But also we're going to go over here. I'm just gonna drag these in so they're linked up. So I'm gonna link up the text, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna call this clickbait text. Then we also want to have an action. So once you press the button, we want to load the clickbait, so that's going to be an action. And I'm gonna say none and touch up inside. Anyways, type I'm just gonna set to UI button. Actually, there's no the UI button. You can leave that. I just set it to UI button, but it doesn't really matter. And so I'm gonna call this generate clickbait, and then let's connect it. Okay, very good. We have generate clickbait. All right, so there's the that's a clickbait, and what else do we have to do? Oh yeah, so we're going to load the clickbait now, and actually, before that, we need to, when we parse the data, we want to put it into a structure, or it's pretty much like a class, but there are some differences. I'm not really going to go over them, but I'm going to create a struct with called clickbait, and that's going to contain the array of clickbait. So as you can see here, there's clickbait part 1, clickbait part 2, clickbait part 3. So I'm going to do struct, and I'm going to call this clickbait. There we go. And then we're going to create some static variables. And static means that you can just actually no, we don't need static. At least I don't think so. No, we don't need static actually. So var clickbait part 1. If you see here, you can see that clickbait part 1 is the exact same as this. Actually, I'm going to copy and paste just to make sure that it's the same. And I'm going to do, I've pasted it. And there we go. So, clickbait part 1, and this is an array of string. And yeah, so it's going to pair it up. So it's clickbait part 1, clickbait part 2, and clickbait part 3. So just make sure that the names are the same. If not, then Swift can't see where to put the clickbait parts into. So clickbait part 1, and then I'm gonna copy and paste. So part 2 and part 3. There we go. And I'm gonna create another a variable here, and that's gonna be called clickbait, and it's gonna be of type clickbait. There we go. I'm just gonna put in a little exclamation mark. I'm gonna go over to view control and just set it as a single view, just so it's easier to see. Alright, so now it's time to put in the clickbait, or load the clickbait. So, first of all, I'm gonna create a variable called clickbait path. And this is going to be a string with the path here. Copy and paste. There we go. So this is the URL here. You can copy it down. So www.makebyuma.com/anyonecancode/clickbait/data.json. That's the URL, and yeah, from this I'm gonna turn this into a URL. So I'm gonna go guard let clickbait URL equals to URL, and it should have an initializer so we can create it. So I'm gonna scroll down, and you can see a string there, and then I'm gonna put in clickbait path, and I'm gonna end it off with else return. And you know, if a clickbait, if the URL is wrong, then it'll return nil. So I'm just making sure I'm using a guard statement to make sure that the clickbait URL is not nil from this part onwards. And yeah. Alright, so from here I'm going to do a URL session.shared.data task with URL, and then there's like a completion handler. Oops. This one, there we go. So this is what the function's like. I'm going to put in clickbait URL here, and the completion handler, I'm just going to press enter. And then we have all this here. So I'm going to do data, response, and then error. And then, actually, yeah, there we go. So, and also at the end, we're going to have to do .resume. So that's going to start off the URL session, so it loads it. And yeah, so inside here is the parsing. Well, it's a parsing and like getting the JSON and parsing it. Okay, so we're gonna then do. We're gonna make sure that the data is not nil. So I'm gonna do guard let unwrapped data equals to data, else return. Okay, and from here we can start doing the parsing process, but we need to do a do catch thing. So do catch statement. So so there might be an error when you parse it, and if it is, then we can catch and print out the error. And error, there we go. And I'm just gonna rename this to ERR. So to parse the JSON, I'm gonna do let JSON parsed equals to JSON decoder dot decode, and I'm gonna do this. There we go. And from data, so I'm gonna throw in unwrapped data. Also, because this throws, so it might return a really bad error. We have this catch here, so I have to put in try to mark where it might fail. And so decode, and so this is a type of how we're going to decode it. Now, if we look here, if you look at this, by looking at the curly braces here, you can see that it's a dictionary. So the clickbait content is in here, and so this is pretty much a dictionary. So to do that, I'm putting in the type, the parse JSON as a type of string, and then what's it, clickbait, which is that's a type of with clickbait part 1, 2, and 3. With the clickbait, I need to make this a decodable. So it means that we can put this in the decoder or the parsing process, and we can and so Swift can put the clickbait part 1, 2, and 3 just in here. So yeah, and alright, so we have this parsing here, and we're gonna have to set the clickbait, and that's gonna be JSON parsed. And remember that this is a dictionary, so we can just access it like a normal dictionary. So we're gonna have to access the first item dot value, because the value is a clickbait type. Okay, so now we have all the clickbait. and it's also clickbait because of the closure. But anyway, so in generate clickbait, I'm going to get the random parts from the clickbait and put it in. So first of all, I'm going to create some functions. So I'm going to get random item, and then I'm going to put in the array, and so it's going to be an array of string, and then I'm going to return it with a string. So in this is just one line, return the array, array, and then arc for random uniform, and then array dot count. So what this is going to do, it's pretty much going to there we go. Just gonna put in uint32. So it's because arc for random uniform needs a uint32, and it's, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this back into an int after doing that. Anyways, so it's just getting a random index. So arc for random uniform just does a random number. Array.count is how many items are in the array, and yeah, so basically that just gets a random index. So just a random item, pretty much. So I'm gonna do var part1 equals to get random item from an array. So it's what is this? So it's clickbait dot clickbait part1, and then I'm just gonna copy and paste this over. So part 2 and part 3, and also just need to get it from change the item I get it from, and now I can do clickbait text dot text equals to then we're just going to use string interpolation to do part 1, and then I'm going to separate it with spaces, part 2 and part 3. And actually, if you look at this, there's already some punctuation here, so just adding some spaces to space it out just helps. Alright, so there's a and it's probably it's best if I do a let constant. Oops. Actually, some of them have this x, which is just a placeholder. So it's just a placeholder, and I'm gonna put in a random number. So by using another function, so func replace xxx with num, and then I'm gonna put in a max. Oh no, so I'm gonna put in. So you need a string, which is a string, and then you need the maximum number, which is going to be an int. So that's done, and I'm gonna. This also has to return strings. So from here, I'm gonna do return string dot replacing occurrences. Here we go. Of the string xxx with also some interpolation, and I'm going to do arc for random uniform, and the maximum number is max number, and it's, or actually I should probably make this a uint32, and then I'm gonna do +1. So arc for random does numbers from 0 to the maximum number, but it's not including the maximum number. So let's say if this is 100, it's going to do from 0 to 99. But adding 1 will make it so it's from 1 to 100, because there is no number 0 in a top 10 list or something like that. Alright, so maximum number, all that's good, but we just need to put it in here. So it's replace xxxx with number. So I'm just gonna cut and paste. So maximum number here is probably gonna be 100, and then the string is going to be what we have in here. So we get random item. Part 3 is pretty much going to be the same. So I'm gonna copy and paste. Just alright, so if I copy and then paste, there we go. So then we have part 3, and then the maximum number, probably gonna limit it to 50, because when I've been testing this, there's sometimes you get like top 10, or no, so the first number is like 50 or 30, then this second number is like 90, which is strange because you don't have number 90 in a top 30 list or something. I don't know why I keep referring to top lists or something. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's just the source of clickbait, I guess. But alright. Okay, so why don't we just test it? So I'm gonna press Command R, and yeah, let's test it. Okay, so I have the app open, and let's press the clickbait button, and we should have some clickbait. There we go, the ultimate guides to get $1 million that doctors don't want you to know. This is all real. I tried out some cool life hacks that can change your life. Watch till the end. Alright, so we've got that. Now we need to top it off with a bit of animation. As you saw it in the preview, the text just enlarges and then goes and then shrinks. Now, how did I do that? Well, it's not that hard, or hopefully it shouldn't be too complicated. So all you have to do is uiview.animate with duration, and then I'm going to put in a completion here, because once it's grown, it needs to shrink back down. So with duration, maybe is 0.3 seconds, and the animation, I'm just gonna leave that for now. And yeah, so in the completion, it asks for boolean. That boolean is like if it succeeded or not. Doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna put underscore just to tell Swift that, hey, that's not needed. So yeah, just tells Swift to ignore it. Alright, so in here I'm gonna do another uiview.animate, animate with duration, there we go. And this is gonna take, let's say, 0.5 seconds. And I'm gonna yeah, so just by doing this, we have the animation. So, well, the animation is not there yet, but let me show you. So, if I go to self.clickbaittext.transform, and then we need to create a CG affine transform, and then that's going. And then we need to do scale X and Y. So we want to scale this to, like, let's say 50 times larger, so 1.5 and 1.5. And then in here we copy and paste. And you could do 1.1 and 1, but what you can do is you can do CG affine transform.identity. Now it's not identity as in what a person is like, or name or stuff like that. It's just default. So it's just scale X is 1 and 1, rotation no rotation, nothing like that. Just the usual. Okay, so let's run this. If this works, then we can end the tutorial and outro. Okay, let's stop talking. I'm gonna run it. We know that the text works, but the animation is fine. Well, I can just end the tutorial. So press. There we go, and we have the animation. The best gamers in the world that no one knows yet. You won't believe this. I tried out some cool life hacks which can make you rule the world. Watch till the end. Here are some totally random facts that will save your life. Number 11 will shock you. And that's it. You know, it'd be pretty cool if I put the clickbait in the title of the video, but that's very misleading and no one knows if it's a tutorial, so I'm probably not going to do that. But if you want, you can use it in your videos if you have a YouTube channel. But oh well, there it is. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And my website is www.madebyuma.com. Also, my Twitter and Instagram is @Yuma3Answer. And anyways, goodbye!